It's Global Fat Bike Day. Check it out. Now, so we're here at the river bottoms. We're gonna ride the trail. I believe we're gonna go that way. That's the heading towards Bloomington Ferry Bridge Road, but going that way we have to cross the creek. Anyway, welcome to Shad Life. Here we are. Got the generator going over here for the Mark booth that's behind me, so I'll walk a little bit further away from it. Yeah, and freewheel bike is over there, and then there's that person. Yeah, cool. I got the chesty on so we get some footage on the ride. Well, I haven't been riding, so this is the first time. Well, this is the first time I've been on an actual bike since I got back from Austin. I've been having back issues. My back feels pretty good, so kind of stoked on that. So yeah, I'm riding the Salsa Mukluk, and I've got the 27.5 by 4.0 tires on it. And it definitely rolls faster with these wheels and tires compared to the 26 by 4.8 Surly Bud and Lose. And I'm missing the single track over there to my left. I gotta find a little chute to go in there. So, as you can see, December 2nd, Global Fat Bike Day, and we have no snow. I mean, aside from a few sheets of ice over there on the river, there's like no indication that it's actually winter time. And the interesting thing about this particular event that I chose is it's basically people just randomly going out and riding. It's not like a group ride. Usually I end up on a group ride. This one, they just have like a staging area, and there's a place where they're renting a bunch of fat bikes and stuff, and people can just go when they want to, go as far as they want, and then head back. So I'm gonna try to go as far as I can, maybe to the Lindale, or not Lindale lot. I started at the Lindale lot, to the Bloomington Ferry Bridge lot, which I think is about 7-ish miles. I can talk a bit more about how this bike feels too. It's pretty sandy in some stretches here. And what's nice about a fat bike is you just hardly even notice it's sandy. So a regular mountain bike, you get bogged down a little bit, kind of steers for you sometimes or wants to slide you out. Fat bike, not an issue. It's pretty cool. Real bit of sand right through here, just float right over it, kind of like you do over snow. Here's a sandy bit right here. Just ride right through it. Cool. Actually, believe it or not, oh, there I slid out because I was in a turn. But believe it or not, I have not ridden a fat bike on sand much. Let's go right through this. Yeah. Been mostly riding on snow. So here is the raft crossing. As you can see, it gets frozen, so they put the raft up on the shore, if the raft stayed in the ice, it would probably damage the pontoons. So it's every year they put it up on the shore for winter. So then we have to figure out a way to get across and hope the ice is thick enough. But I heard rumors that there's a beaver dam and I see some riders crossing over there. So let's go check that out. So this is supposedly where we're gonna cross. Sometimes down over here you can go right across if it's frozen enough, but I don't know if it is or not. I don't know why I didn't film it, but I just crossed the frozen part of the creek, which I kind of tested. It was pretty thick, but then when I rode across it, it made a big crack sound. It's kind of funny. Probably not deep enough or dangerous enough to going under, but it would kind of suck to fall through and get wet when it's like 30 degrees. So it's kind of wild, and even though I've been alive for a long time and know this, it still surprises me every year. So the sun is right over there. Is literally like just not that far above the horizon and just kind of goes across the sky this time of year. And of course we're getting closer to winter solstice, so it's getting about as far south as it gets in the winter time. And then in the summertime the sun is like literally straight up above us. Like, that's how much the path of the sun changes between summer and winter. It's like, even though we're up here in Minnesota in the summertime, the sun is almost directly above us. So riding, which is interesting, is because the sun's, you know, south is to my left. Notice the shadows going across. So like usually in the summertime you only get shadows like this if you ride early in the morning or later in the afternoon. In the winter you just always get these shadows, and it kind of creates a strobe effect in my vision sometimes. There's enough trees. Little log piles to ride over. One thing you'll hear people talk about with fat bikes is sometimes they'll self-steer. That feeling of it wanting to pull to the left or pull to the right, on this bike it tends to only happen when I start going a little faster. I feel it a little bit. At slower speeds I don't feel it that much. And I mean, fat bikes are slower speed bikes. They're not necessarily the greatest high-speed bikes with the big tires and stuff. But a lot of times it'll be the tire brand. I've had certain tire brands that are worse than others. And pressure can affect it. There's all kinds of variables that'll affect that self-steer, and I just kind of get used to it after riding a while. Oh. Is that the same bike? No, different bike. Looked like it was a Salsa though. In this particular part of the world or country, however you want to view it, salsas are pretty prominent, and big reason for that is because Salsas, the company, is literally right over that way at QBP. I'm on dirt like this, especially if it's mostly hard pack, I run usually 10 to 12 psi. And I don't even know which was the main route there. Funny. So today I'm in there somewhere. The pump I was using isn't super accurate, so somewhere between 10 and 12 psi. I've gone as low as 8 on dirt. If you're not doing a lot of hard cornering and stuff, you can get away with that. And if you have wide enough rims, these are 80 millimeter rims. So when it gets to be snow, I definitely drop it down closer to starting with 6 or 7 if it's hard packed snow, and if it's soft snow, I go down to as low as like 3 or 4 psi, where the tire is literally just super squishy and you can press on the tire and push it almost all the way to the rim. So that tire pressure is everything when it comes to fat bikes. Well, it's everything when it comes to mountain biking too, but really important on fat bikes to get your pressure right for the conditions. But you know, I'll see people running their super low pressure on fat bikes because they're told, oh, low pressure in conditions like this, and then they're just bogging. You can hear it, it's just like roar, roar. You can see them kind of having to work harder and bog. So yeah, definitely hard pack conditions, dirt, you can run a little more pressure. You don't have to always have it at that super low pressure, and it really reduces the kind of bouncy feel, and it feels a little bit more like a actual mountain bike. Oh, another bright orange. Bright orange wins. It's kind of nice that how visible that guy was from quite a distance. So now I know that I'm that visible from quite a distance. So even though it looks like we're in the middle of nowhere, we're actually still in the city. We're not in Minneapolis proper. We're in Bloomington, which is a suburb of Minneapolis. But over on my left, now that there's no leaves, I see houses. It's like a whole neighborhood. A little less populated on the left, but there's a lot of grain elevators and industry on the left side, and on the right side it's pretty much a full-blown dense neighborhood. And I dug a bad line, well, mostly just because this is here. But I kind of want to ride this. Hopefully it's not washed out up here, right on the edge. Woo. It's always fun when there's a tree on the right that you have to get your handlebars by, and on your left is basically a cliff. All right, I figured I'd stop and just show you how beautiful it is out here. This is so amazing. It's hard to believe it's December 2nd. There's some riders, or a rider, and here is the Muckluck Carbon. It's got the 27.5 wheels on it, and I've talked about this bike a few times, but I have done some upgrades. It has SRAM GX on it, mechanical. This GX shifts really well. I'm pretty impressed. I ride a lot of Shimano stuff, and Shimano XT, but it's a toss-up between GX and Shimano XT or SLX. I think GX is probably more comparable to SLX, and you know, I'm always happy with GX. It's kind of my primary component group. If I go SRAM, I want GX. If I go Shimano, SLX, or XT, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so I'm really liking the way this bike feels with these wheels on it. Pretty sweet. Seems to roll a lot better. All right, time to get back on the trail. There's a lot of people out here because the parking lot was full, and what's kind of cool is with as many people that are out here riding, you don't see them. Like you don't run across them very often, and that's what kind of makes it cool, is you can kind of feel like you're all out by yourself sometimes, when really there's a lot of people and you don't have much conflicts with people or anything like that as far as like sharing the trail and stuff. So cool, let's ride. So the way the river bottoms here is there is a main trail, which is what I'm on right now, which is pretty fast flowing, open, not many challenges, but every once in a while there's offshoots and stuff, and I always find it fun to take the offshoots, like right here for example, and you can tell it's not ridden as much, and just explore over here. A lot of times the offshoots are more technical and challenging, which I personally like. But for a lot of people, if they just want to get a good cruise down here, they don't have to ride this more challenging stuff. They could be over there on the main trail. And I believe gotta go back to the main trail. I think there's another offshoot before we get to the end here, because bridge is there, and by end I mean a halfway point, because I gotta turn around and go back. So the last time I did this climb, I was on my single speed Surly low side. Here I have gears.
We got this.
Well, it's easy when you have a what, 51 tooth, 52 tooth?
There you go.
Whatever it is.
Yeah,
So this is the bridge. There's actually more trails if you really wanted to go over this bridge. There's a paved trail that takes you kind of west, and then there's more trail over that way, but those are kind of more rogue, as we like to call them, or unofficial, versus what we were just on. And so you kind of have to know where to go over there, so I usually only do those if I'm on a group ride where people know where they're going, because I don't know where I'm going over there. But there you go, there's the river. Time to head back. Oh, let's look at distance. So from Lindale lot to here, oh, it's almost exactly 7 miles, 6.97 miles. So we'll just say 7 miles, and then so 14 total when I get back. Alright, now I'm headed back. It's interesting because on my way out, I tend to kind of just cruise and take it easy, and then on my way back, and I do this almost every time I ride the river bottoms, I tend to just pick up my pace and get back as quick as possible. I don't know why that is, but it's kind of funny because right now I'm just trucking along. As it's float through that corner, it's definitely drifting both wheels. Whee, fun. It's definitely warmed up a few degrees. When I go back, if I feel confident enough in that ice crossing, I'll try to remember to film it this time. So I always feel like going back is a lot faster than going out, and it's just perception, I think. But I'm looking at the little whatever you call these types of bridges, the turn bridge. I'm already there. Whoa.
Hi.
Hello. Got a whole crew.
One more.
All right, thanks. See, there's proper trail etiquette. The guy at the end said last one because I couldn't see around to see if anybody else was coming. Love it. Trail etiquette is super important. So I would be very curious to find out how these 27.5 by 4.0 wheels and tires feel in the snow. I got a taste of it last year riding that salsa bear grease, and honestly this is muck luck, but it feels a lot like that bear grease did when I had the 27.5 4.0 wheels on this bike. Oh, that's like a 90-degree turn back onto the main trail. So I'll have to look at the ice again and see if I dare go across it. There's some momentum, might not be bad. Because these people are getting off and walking across that beaver dam thing that was made, and I'm like, why not just ride across the ice over there? Definitely looks sketchier than it did. I think I came right over here. It's water now. But it looks thick enough. I wonder if I should just go for it. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, slippery though. Gotta remember that I'm on ice. Oh, no problem. Just as long as I don't fall on ice. There's definitely a lot more water now because it's warmed up. But like I said earlier, it's not deep enough to like have to worry about like falling in over your head or anything. You just get wet and cold if you fell in. Because if it was deeper, there's no way I would take that risk. Oh, thank you. So almost hit my handlebar. There we go. Oh, well, thanks. There's 35W. That's the end. Oh, that tree's like bent out, and then there's a cliff on the right. Kind of funny. Try this one. Whew. I can see the freewheel van and the mark booth. So Let's look at my stats here. 13.79 miles, so I mean about 14 miles. Not a bad ride. Did it in an hour and 36 minutes. Well, I guess I did go a lot faster coming back, because it's almost at an hour. I think it took me like 50 minutes to get there. And who are these people? All right, well, I'm sitting in my car. I started to get really cold because I got done riding, and of course I was sweaty, and then I was standing there talking to people and started to get really cold, so I'm sitting in my car to conclude this video. I do have to say, one of my favorite things about EVs is that the heat comes on right away. Like, it's already full blower warm air, and the car's only been on for like a minute. So I love that aspect. And of course I turned the steering wheel heater on and the seat heater on, so I should be able to warm up pretty quick here. But yeah, I don't know why, but I kind of rushed out of the house this morning. I didn't think to bring like some warm layers of clothes, because if I'm going to hang out for a little bit after the ride, I need to change into some dry clothes, otherwise I'm going to just freeze. And that's what happened. So it's like my first like really cold weather ride, and sometimes I just forget, but from this day forward I'll remember to be a little smarter. So that was really fun. Had a blast. That bike is super amazing. The muckluck fits right in the back. Yeah, well, till next time, appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.